President Buhari has reacted to the plan by the Central Bank of Nigeria to redesign and replace the 1,000, 500, and 200 Naira notes effective December the 15th. The president, according to a release issued on Sunday by his spokesman Malangarbo Shehu, said the decision of the central bank to launch these new designs and replace high-value Naira notes had his support, and he was convinced that the nation will gain by doing so. For more on these headlines, we cross over to London, where we're joined by Arise Business Analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So, Chika, we continue to discuss the Naira redesign. What do you make of the president's comments?
Morning, Rotus. Welcome to a new week.
Yes, sir.
We spoke about this Naira redesign I think two times last week, and understandably, my phone was filled over the week, subsequently with when the news broke out about the comments of the minister. And then when the press went to town with federal government denies or the Naira change, I shuddered, and because of the fact that the CBN governor, unless he was lying, said that he got the approval of the president. And when they said the federal government denies, because of the performance of the minister at the House of Rep, I wondered whether the president was the federal government or the minister was the federal government. But, be that as he may, it's not, that this kind of thing has been a signpost of this administration, where you have the different officials of the administration speaking from different, singing from different hymn books. But that's not just that, because the CBN is actually very independent of the government in power. CBN focuses on monetary policy, where the government in power focuses on the fiscal policy. But the CBN must get the authority of the president in doing something like this. And, whenever you're in government like this, there are a lot of undercurrents, so we'll not go into that. But the other thing also is that I think the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Finance is on the board of Central Bank of Nigeria. I knew there was more to it, and that, so I wasn't surprised that the president of the country, who the Central Bank of Nigeria, the governor quoted, has given authority, came out to validate that he actually was part of the decision. So we're not surprised. So onwards, Nigeria march towards the new notes. Billionaires like you, who has pocket your cash,
I wish,
as the president, who have hidden their cash in drums and under the ground, go and dig them out now and go and put them back in the banking system. But remember what we said: putting your cash into the banking system, you will not necessarily get a proportionate amount out in the new notes. You're allowed to use other channels, to dispense this your big billions. As the president said, those whose hands are clean, will not have any problem doing this. But those who are holding so much money that they can't explain will have challenge on this. And I will assure you that the fight is not over. You will find a lot of, other people talking about this, using people as, fronts or proxies to come and criticize this initiative, because it might hurt them one way or the other. But as I said before, the implementation of this process, CBN must be very diligent in it. The Central Bank of Nigeria must command the banks in Nigeria who know that things like this can go wrong when it is when it's not properly handled by the banks. I do remember I said last time also that when this one was done, interestingly, in 1984 under Buhari too, there were two economies at the time. When you go to traders, they tell you want to buy with the new notes or do you want to buy with the old notes. So let's just make sure that everything is smooth. The banks have said that they're going to open their branches or location from Monday to Saturday, and make things easier. Luckily, there are more branches now than when we did in 1984, and so the rural community will not suffer so much. But CBN must work out, check this process day by day, alter the modalities, and make sure that the citizens of the country do not suffer, even as they strive to achieve the objective.
Thank you so much, Chika. What do you make of the unaudited results of MTN? 26% rise in profit.
A very good time to be a shareholder of MTN, And when the results come out like this, you go through and say, what are the higher points? And the high points here, or the lingo here is data is live and live is data. We've always known, especially during the lockdown, that data revenues were ballooning. Whereas voice was struggling in the lower single digits in growth. Like this 9 months of the year, voice merely grew by 4.4%. The new voice was struggling. You and me know that a lot of costs we have been making, has always been through, WhatsApp, So it's not surprising, therefore, that data is pushing. Data, whereas voice grew by 4.4%, data grew by almost 50%. That tells you the impact of data. But that's not the only thing. The major thing here is that in the past, even though we knew data was growing minute by minute, day by day, the quantum amount of data in revenues was low. But now, it's almost catching up with voice. Voice came in at almost about 770 billion, whereas data came in about 550 billion. So that tells you that sooner than later, data will catch up. Let's look at them. The financial system. We saw the reports. Most of the payments now are done through online. Checks and other things. I don't know when last you entered the banking hall. Commerce. E-commerce is the king now. Everything is data. Lifestyle, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Nigerian population, 65% of it is below 30, 35. This is the means of communication by these young people. Online learning. A lot of education now is going through. Everything is data, video calls. So it's not surprising, therefore, that the data revenues are just skyrocketing. And we're going to see more of this. I foresee that by the first half of next year, data may actually overtake voice revenues for MTN.
Thanks, Chika. Just about a minute to go. Can you quickly get your comment? Peter Obi finally releasing his... Well, he hasn't released it yet. He says that the copy online is not it, but it's coming soon.
Yeah, we've got a copy, but it's disclaimed it, so we will not analyze it. As before, we'll remember what we're talking about this election cycle. It will not be like copy and paste this time around. We will hold all the candidates accountable. Once we have that document, we're going to go through it through a fine-tooth comb. Remember the question, how? This cycle, please, citizens, let's ask the candidates, how? When they tell you they're going to build 30-story building for you, ask them how, where's the money going to come from? Not just any highfalutin thing. So we'll wait for the final edition that he said that he will sign off, and then, of course, we'll review it and then push it out there for our citizens.
All right, Business Analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, as always, thank you so much for taking us through the headlines. We appreciate your insights.